Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on the consequences of the absence of rule of law. Last time, we focused on the necessity of rule of law. We established that rule of law places restrictions both on those who govern and on those who are governed. This is important because it creates equality within society. We also discussed how rule of law protects the basic rights of citizens and how it promotes the common good. Today, we will turn our attention to the consequences that arise when rule of law is absent from society. A number of problems result from the lack of rule of law. Students, we have already talked a great deal about how rule of law creates order within society. It does this by placing the law at the forefront of government. This means that all of the branches of government, the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, are subject to the law. All actions, policies, and decisions must be made according to the law, which stresses the equality of all people and their rights as human beings. Order arises from the restrictions that rule of law creates. People who govern are limited in their power according to rule of law. Therefore, they know the boundaries of their authority. Similarly, ordinary citizens are also restricted by rule of law. They know that they will be punished by the law if they behave in an illegal way. The restrictions or limitations created by rule of law do not interfere with the people's liberty and freedoms. Rather, they create order within society so that people's rights and freedoms are protected. Therefore, an absence of rule of law results in disorder. Disorder will affect all areas of society, including government. Students, when we talk about a state of disorder within government, we often use the word anarchy. What is anarchy? Please take a minute to write down a definition of this term.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I am sure you were able to think of a good definition of the word anarchy. Anarchy means a situation in society whereby there is no supreme power or law which will result in political and social disorder. It can be defined as a state of disorder due to the absence or non-recognition of authority. When a society is in a state of anarchy, the absolute freedom of the individual is not respected as a political ideal. Were your definitions similar to this answer, students? If so, good work. Along with anarchy comes something known as arbitrary rule. Justice suffers as a result of the absence of rule of law. Also, peace and stability are threatened, and the strong may have the opportunity to take advantage of the weak. The word arbitrary means that someone's decision is made based on random choice or personal whim, rather than on a reason. When it is applied to government, it means that a ruling body is unrestrained and autocratic in its use of authority. Arbitrary rule, therefore, results in a high degree of insecurity and uncertainty within society. This is because nobody knows what to expect from their government's decisions and actions, as these are not restricted to the confines of rule of law. The justice system suffers as well. Within rule of law, no one can be convicted without a sufficient body of evidence proving guilt. However, under arbitrary rule, the justice system is not legally bound to be fair. Students, imagine for a few moments that you live in a society that is in a state of anarchy and arbitrary rule. How does this make you feel? What are your thoughts about the future? I will see you again in a few minutes.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again. I hope this imaginative exercise was useful. Your answers will all be different, but there are probably some similarities between them. For instance, many of you might have said that living in a society that is in a state of anarchy would be quite frightening. This is because you would not feel in control of what took place in society. It is very difficult to live orderly lives when society is in a state of disorder. As for the future, you would probably feel a degree of uncertainty and insecurity. You might even lose hope for the future. This is a very harmful consequence of the absence of rule of law, because if people cease to hope for the future, they will start to believe that they are incapable of effecting positive change. Absence of rule of law results in a disregard for established and fair procedure, as in the case of justice. It also results in an absence of accountability. Students, what is meant by an absence of accountability?
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Well done. Absence of accountability means that the government is not transparent in its dealings. It does not inform the public about the reasons for its actions. This means that the people are separated from the procedures governing their country, and they have no control. Students, we have discussed a number of negative consequences that arise from the absence of rule of law. Next time, we will learn about conflict management. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.